All right.
Back at it again.
Back at it again. Another day. Another day, another way.
Another day, another dollar.
Another dollar.
Another day, another nickel.
What?
Depending on where you work and how much you're worth. I am personally feel like minimum of $100 an hour.
Yo, so where are we going to work? I'll be your apprentice. Like, where are we going to go work?
Here.
Okay, alright.
I would insist on no other place but here. And I would insist on a minimum of $100 an hour.
Throwing a cheeseburger, you got to deal.
Throwing a cheeseburger?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Beatitudes?
A what?
The Beatitudes. The Bible has something called the Beatitudes in it. Well, I have my own Beatitudes, and I thought I would share with my own personal Beatitudes. You don't? Okay. If you get an opportunity to look them up, Beatitudes. It's in the
Was
Bible.
something in the Bible, did you say?
It is. Jesus speaks on the Mount, and he gives the Lord's Prayer, and he preaches about the Beatitudes. But I have my own Beatitudes that I thought I would share with everybody today. And it comes with my little acronym. You may know, I've heard my acronym of Live Hard. It's up here on my wall here. Live Hard, it's the Way of the Raven philosophy, and it's my basic tenets that I will live by. My ethics, my ethos. Basically stands for loyalty, integrity, valor, empathy, honor, accountability, respect, and discipline. I'm going to go through all of those, and I think those are some important factors that all of us need to have in our lives, and hit on each one of those all the time. Loyalty. Let's take that one first. Loyalty to family. What does that even mean? You know, not everyone whose blood could be considered family. You can choose your family in a lot of ways. And sometimes you can't choose your family. There's people that must be your family, right? They're blood relatives, but much more than just blood relatives. We have people that we care about who we consider our family. Even just for a temporary time, they become your brothers or your sisters, or like an uncle to you, or like a brother to you, or like a second father to you, or whatever. They become that. They become your family. Now, being loyal to them, it means what? Whether it be they're having hard times or they're good times, you stay with them. You stick with it thick and thin. This could be said the same thing for a spouse. How many of you are a child of divorce? Nobody? One? Loyalty says a lot. Kids that grow up in divorced families, they tend to say that no matter what, they're not going to divorce their spouse. They wouldn't want to leave their children in a divorced home. I certainly feel the same way. I certainly wouldn't get divorced and leave my kids without having two parents. So loyalty, very, very important, but also to your true friends. Your true friends also showing loyalty. And how do you know your true friends? It's in the time of darkness, man. It's easy to be a true friend when it's easy to be a true friend. But when it's difficult to be a true friend, that's when you know who's got your back and who doesn't. One of my teachers, Bruce Corrigan, always used to say, you know who your true friends are, you know who your family is when your magazines are empty, your knives are drawn, and you're back to back against the enemy. That's your true friend. That's your true friend. Who's got your back through thick and thin? Next, you've got to be loyal to yourself. You've got to know your why. You got to be able to not only know your why, but live your why and be loyal to that. Loyalty to that means you're going to stick with it. You're going to stay consistent for you. For you, you're going to stay consistent. Being loyal to yourself is a lot of different things. One of the things that I believe being loyal to yourself is looking sharp in public. If you're going to go out in public and you look like a ragamuffin, you're not being loyal to yourself.
What's a ragamuffin?
I'm not really sure what a ragamuffin is.
Did you just make up the word?
No, it's a word. It's a word. I don't look very, nice. You kind of look like raggedy.
Disheveled, not put together, You want to look sharp in public. And it's not because of the way other people feel about you or see about you or think about you. It's how you think about yourself. When you're looking your best, typically you're feeling your best. When you're looking sharp and you dress to the nines, you feel sharp. When you dress up in your pajamas, you feel like just chilling and laying around, relaxing, not doing anything. Isn't it true? Isn't it? That's why we have different outfits, right? I mean, if I put on my bathrobe, I'm just chilling. I'm not going out to the store in my bathrobe, although I've seen plenty of people at Walmart do that, I would say be loyal to yourself and show a little dignity and look sharp. Look sharp. And that leads me to my first beatitude, and that is be the hero. My first attitude is be the hero. That means being loyal to your beliefs, being loyal to your standard, being loyal to your purpose, and being loyal to you. To be loyal, to be the hero, to be your hero, to be the hero in your own story. It's going to take loyalty. It's going to take loyalty. My second point is integrity. This ties everything together. We also have integrity in our overall model, as you know. Integrity, very, very, very important. Integrity helps you write your rules of engagement. And what are your rules of engagement? How you're going to engage with the world in general. How ethical are you going to be? How honest are you going to be? How integrable are you going to be? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to steal something to have it? Is that your rule of engagement? Bad rules. Or maybe your rules of engagement is no matter what, I'm going to earn it. No matter what, I'm going to do it the honest way. No matter what, I'm going to follow the standard. No matter what, I'm going to engage the world respectfully. And then, of course, your work ethic has got a lot to do with your integrity. When you're doing work, it has your signature on it. Think of it like this. Your work day is like a painting. If you went to go sign the Mona Lisa, but you painted her and it looks like, I don't know, a ragamuffin, and you go to put your signature on it, your signature's forever on a ragamuffin. It's not on a Mona Lisa.
I'm naming this lesson
Ragamuffin?
Yes. Lesson 5 ragamuffin.
Lesson 5, ragamuffin. It's like your work day. You finish your work day and it's a ragamuffin. Your name is on it forever. Forever. But you paint a Mona Lisa. You work hard that day and you paint a Mona Lisa. That's different. That's first class. That's world class even. Yeah? So your work ethic is just like that. It is your signature, your fingerprint. What you do, it's part of your integrity. How about making good and ethical decisions? The thing is with integrity that your future is right now. It starts right now with each and every decision that you make. You're shaping what's going to happen for you tomorrow. It's called cause and effect. If I clap my hands, what will happen?
You'll make a noise.
It'll make a noise. It'll make a noise. I know that. If I clap my hands and you're across the street, you will hear it if the door was open, but not right when you guys hear it. It's going to take a second. It's going to be a little delay. Your thought turns to action. Your action turns to a consequence, both good and bad. You get a result. So make ethical and good decisions. That's a major part of integrity. Another part of integrity is to help others in need, but only when they ask for it. And I add the only for when you ask for it because, as you already know, people don't want your opinion unless they truly ask. They don't want you to interject. In fact, somebody's watching this video right now because they are looking for whatever answers in the video. You're listening to this lesson because you're here because you asked for it. But I'm not going to give it to you if you don't ask, because it's a waste of the time, my energy and time. You don't want to give away your energy. You don't want to give away your time. You know, you want to make it valuable decisions with your energy and time. So if someone asks you for help, by all means help. Asks for your opinion, by all means give it to them. Be a noble brother, son, man, woman, sister, mother, brother, father. Be noble. Have some nobility. What does that even mean? Do you think of a noble person as someone who's a thief? Think of a noble person as someone who's a liar, a cheater, as someone who's a ragamuffin? No. What do you think of when I say the word noble?
Like a disciple of Christ.
The disciple of Christ?
Itself.
How about like a king or a prince or a knight?
Yeah.
Those are noble people, right? Mm-hmm. So be noble. This is part of being integrity, which leads me to my number 2 beatitude, which is be the authentic self. Be your authentic self. This is important. You have to know what you believe down to the core of your soul. You have to do it when no one's looking. You have to do the right thing when no one's looking. Authentically. You have to do and be your standard when no one's looking. What is your personal code? You have to know it authentically. Really, truly, truly know yourself. So if you want to have a little integrity in your life, and you should all want to be integrable, be noble. Know yourself authentically. My number 3 thing is valor. Does everybody know what valor means? Bravery. Be brave enough to become who you want to become. Be brave enough to be who you want to be. You can't be a scaredy cat and get what you want. I mentioned this to somebody last week or this week, I can't remember. But life is like a heart monitor. And it's supposed to be like a heart monitor. It's supposed to go like this. Beep, 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 beep. And sometimes it'll go like this. Beep, 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 beep. And going up. The last thing we want ever is it to go like this. Beep, and flatline. So we have to have some valor. We have to be brave. We have to take chances. It's going to take that in order for us to become who we want to become, to be who we really want to be. It's going to take you being brave and being valorous.
I thought the word was valiant.
Valiant, also.
Yeah.
Valiant.
I thought, yeah.
It could be.
I believe the state of having valor is valiant.
Valiant.
Yeah.
Being valiant, yeah. Valorous, is that a word?
I don't know.
It is now. Thus saith the raven. Yeah. That is a word, Kev?
I think pretty sure.
Yeah. So, you also have to be brave enough to be honest. Because, to tell you the truth, in order to find your authentic self, your integrity, and your loyalty, you're going to have to be honest with yourself. You're going to have to be honest with other people. You're going to have to ask yourself the right questions. You might even say, what's wrong with me? That's a fair question. What's wrong with me? And then you have to be valiant enough to accept the truth and not go, well, there's nothing wrong with me. All I need is a Band-Aid. And the problem is you have a head wound. Well, you have a big gashing wound in your head, and you're like, I've got the perfect answer. I've done this before. I've been here, done that before. All I need to do is put a Band-Aid on my pinky. And the head wound will stop. I believe it. In fact, I'm just going to put this hat on my head so I don't see the blood or the head wound, and I'm going to put this Band-Aid on my pinky. And that's the way some people approach their problems in life. I'm going to hide it, put the Band-Aid somewhere else. That's not being brave. That's not being valor. Having valor, being valiant or valorous. So that leads me to my number 3 beatitude. That is to be the warrior. To be the warrior, you have to stand by what you believe in. You have to represent your standards with pure bravery. You have to live your purpose, live your mission in life. And you have to stand up for those things. You have to have valor. My number 4 topic is empathy. We already learned about that. You practice the love principle. Remember what the love principle is? Truly listen to someone. Truly and authentically understand them. Validate them as their personhood. Validate them as a person. And empathize with them. Empathize with the way they're feeling. When you apply love on someone, you create affinity. Your communications grow. You'll truly connect with other people. You'll be a healer. You'll be a peacekeeper, a peacemaker. To truly use those principles. Listen, understand, validate, and empathize. That brings me to my next beatitude. Be the Buddha. And what I mean by that is be compassionate. Be totally understanding through the love principle. Use words that heal instead of hurt. Use touch that heals instead of hurts. And that's a lesson that we can all use. Using the proper tone of voice, using the proper words so we can heal someone instead of hurt them. Validating them as a person instead of devaluing them. It's important. So that number 4 beatitude is be the Buddha. Brings me to one of my the next important point, and one of my favorites, and that is number 5, honor. Now that's a slippery slope. That's something that's tricky to talk about because a lot of people don't know what honor is. They use the word honor and they'll say, oh, that's not honorable. But what does that even mean? Isn't it really just a mixture of a couple of the ones that we've already talked about, though, isn't it? It's a mixture of loyalty. It's a mixture of integrity. It's also honesty. Honor and honesty have to run hand in hand. In fact, if you're going to be an honorable person, you have to have vicious intensity towards the truth. A vicious intensity towards the truth. In fact, you can be all that you want to be as an honorable person if it's done in truth. Accept reality for what it is. If you're going to be an honorable person, you must accept reality. You can't lie to yourself. You won't get the outcome that you need. You need to be able to keep it real. Accept reality for what it really is. Welcome. Come on in. So if you're going to be an honorable person, that's the whole deal. Be an honest person. That leads me to my next beatitude, which is be the man. Not just any man, be the man. That's like saying be the king of the jungle. Be the man. And to be the man, you got to beat the man. That's what Ric Flair says. Woo! Be the man. So if you're going to be the man, that means to be brutally honest with yourself. The most powerful person in the room is the person who has nothing to hide because they're completely honest. How can you be your authentic self if you're not completely honest? You can't. What will end up happening is you'll end up lying to yourself. You can't lie to yourself and be an honorable person. Oh, you can be an honorable person on the outside, but remember, honor has integrity involved in it. And integrity is what you do in the dark. That when no one's looking. How can you be an honorable person if you're lying? Stop lying. Stop lying to yourself.
And others.
Do what?
I said and others.
And others. Express yourself honestly and truthfully. That doesn't mean be a jerk. That doesn't mean, some guy's feet stink and you go up to him, look, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, your feet stink. I don't know what you're doing that make your feet stink so bad, but they stink. You might want to use a little tact, but still honestly express yourself in a way that has respect. Yep. Maybe take him in the bathroom. Hey, bud, don't mean to embarrass you. Here's one that's really big, and I want you to remember it. I want you to write it down, burn it into your mind. Do nothing that brings shame to you or your family's name. Do nothing that brings shame to you or your family's name. Your parents gave you one thing that you can take with you, and that's your name. Do nothing that brings shame to it. You cannot be an honorable person if you're bringing shame to your family name. Can't do it. That brings me to my sixth point. Accountability. In order to be a leader, we must take extreme ownership of everything we do. Everything. That's good and bad. There's this great story about a soldier who was leading a crew, but he made a very, very terrible mistake. And he had an option. He could shove it to the side and blame it on somebody else and go on with his job as the commander of this troop. Or he could come clean, probably get demoted, and get in trouble and taken off the mission. The soldier thought about it, and then all of a sudden he said, I have to take extreme ownership. He did that. He went to his commanding officer. He told him what he did. The commanding officer did a very surprising thing. Put him back in charge. Because that's the sign of a true leader. Taking accountability for your mistakes. I would rather an employee of mine steal $10 from the register, go home with the $10, come back the next day and go, I want you to know that I took $10 out of the register. Here's my $10. I understand if you don't want me to work here anymore, but I felt so bad about it. I'm taking accountability for that. I wouldn't fire them. I wouldn't fire them. That's the sign of a little sticky fingers maybe, but that's the sign of a leader, taking accountability for your actions, both good and bad. No one can expect anyone to be perfect. So if you hold yourself accountable, how wonderful is that? If you don't, have you ever met the person that does this? Every single mistake they make, every move they make, every breath they take. Saw what I did there, huh? They always have an excuse. Oh, it's not my fault. Oh, no. Here's what actually happened. And instead of saying, here's what happened, I overslept, they go, here's what happened. Okay, look, the power glitched last night. Not only did the power glitch last night, but then someone came to my door and they knocked on the door in the middle of the night. They kept me up all night long. Then they gave me, then I had to take a sleeping pill to get to sleep. So when I went to sleep, I took a sleeping pill. Then after that, I slept all the way through it. But the alarm didn't go off anyway because it glitched in the middle of the night. And then when it glitched in the middle of the night, I got up and I found out not only was the power out, but it was also unplugged. My point is, they'll give you this list like this of reasons why it's not their fault. As if they couldn't just say, I overslept. No, it's everybody else's fault. And you know it's a lie when they give it to you in tons and tons of excuses.
So, funny story. The dog ate my book report, so I can't give it to you today? No, I'm just not done with it yet.
Yeah, funny story. The dog ate my book report, and then it got ran over by the car. Yeah. And then when I did that, you won't believe what happened. It started raining, and it ruined the rest of the pieces. And then I tripped and fell and dropped it into a bucket of fire pit. It was unbelievable. I wish you could have seen it. I hurt my knee, too, so I'm probably not going to be able to make it to class. Liar! So much easier to hold yourself accountable and say, look, I made this mistake. I am sorry. What can I do to not do it again? How can I make this up? That's the person I want on my team. The one who makes mistakes, learns from them, holds himself accountable. So accountability, which leads me to my next B attitude. Be the leader. Be the leader by being honest and keep it real with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Be the leader by being honest and keep it real with other people. Don't lie to others. Be a leader by being honest and keep it real with what you do. Hold yourself accountable. Be a leader by being honest and keep it real with the results that you get. Which leads me to my next point. Respect. Respect is the number one reason why relationships fail. In my opinion. It's not a scientific research. I'm just giving you my opinion.
Can I say my opinion?
Sure.
I kind of believe that respect is, in many ways, the number one reason why we have conflict in the world in general. Because maybe we can't always agree on everything. Maybe we can't always be friends. Maybe we can't even always get along. But if we can't be, if you can't at least be respectful, then you have nothing.
That's right.
And yeah.
All you need is a little R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Find out what it means to.
Yes. Respect is the reason why relationships fall apart. Because one, you stop respecting the person's boundaries. Or you stop respecting the person's time. Or you stop respecting their behavior. You stop respecting them in general and your tone of voice becomes bad. You stop respecting their values, so you cheat on them. You stop respecting their time, so you waste their time. You stop respecting what they do for a living, so you don't value what they bring in. I don't know, all kinds of reasons.
You stop respecting their interests.
You stop respecting their interests. That's a good one.
But you can go on and on, yeah.
Respect is the key. One day you guys will get married, maybe. Have a relationship, guy, girl, whatever. I have something called the king or queen concept. Treat your spouse, if it's a girl, like a queen. Always. In fact, I wouldn't even call her dear. I'd call her, yes, queen. My queen. Why? Show deep respect. Show deep respect. And that will, in return, give you respect. When you show respect to someone else, people kind of like that. They will in return respect you. And by the way, if they don't, bye, bye, bye.
I don't want to be a fool.
They're not the one for you. Well, find that out before
may
you do
hate me,
it.
but it ain't no lie. Bye, bye, bye.
I want to roll today, buddy. Respect. It's a biggie, man. Respect the opinions of others. Treat others like you want to be treated. Use respectful communication. Can't go wrong. And that's why my next beatitude is be the king. For you guys, or the queen. Be the king. What does that even mean? That's not a sexist thing to say, by the way. I'm not intending it that way. What I mean is...
You're getting canceled, sorry.
I'm getting canceled? Well, it is the cancel culture.
Yeah. You're not inclusive enough.
No, I'm really not.
Okay. Just joke.
I'm really not. Be the king. That means you take ownership of your castle, man. And I don't mean you're like, listen here, woman. And that's not what I'm saying at all. Because the king and queen make decisions together. The king and queen do things together. They rule the castle together. They rule the chessboard together. Yeah, who's the most powerful? Who's the most powerful piece on the chessboard?
The queen.
You better believe it. You better believe it. Make no mistake about it. The queen is. And make no mistake, it's the same in most households, especially if they respect each other. The queen is very powerful and an equal part. But a king, only a king would know that. A jester, on the other hand, wouldn't know that. A jester wouldn't know that. A pawn, nah. A king recognizes the value of his queen. So that brings me to my very last point. Discipline. None of this works without discipline. If you are not disciplined, you are probably a ragamuffin. Here's what I would like to see you guys do, and this is what I expect from myself. And I wouldn't ask you to do something I'm not doing myself. I'm on the Mediterranean diet, just like you guys. I do the same thing that you guys do for the most part. I mean, I don't do the equine stuff, you know? But I am working on that. I do have some battle samurai horse stuff that I'm going to start working on.
What?
Yes, I'll tell you all about it. Sometime.
Awesome. It sounds cool.
Here's what I ask of myself. I demand. I don't even ask. I demand that I grow. And you should demand that you grow. In fact, if you're the same person 3 months from now that you are right now, you're doing something wrong. Life is about expansion. It's about growth. It's about progression, moving on, evolution, growing. If you're the same person you are right now, 3 months from now, you did something wrong. You weren't disciplined enough. You didn't push yourself enough. You didn't grow. You must insist from yourself expansion. You must also have balance in your mind, balance of your body, balance of your spirit. And you must believe that every day, in every way, you are getting better and better and better.
Taking care of business.
Taking care of business.
Every day.
TCB, baby.
Every way.
Getting better and better and better. Taking care of business. I like to call it the TCB warriors. Taking care of business. Yes. That leads me to my very last beatitude and my very favorite one. And that is beatitude number 8. Be the badass.
Heck yeah.
Because if you're growing and you're disciplined, you're moving forward, you're expanding, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you are a badass. If you are a different person today than you were 3 months ago, then you are a badass. If you are expanding, you are growing, you are a badass. You are not a ragamuffin. Only ragamuffins stay the same. Badasses grow. Badasses expand. Badasses kick ass. Pardon my French. Daily disciplines of the mind, the body, and the spirit will make that happen for you. Discipline of your core beliefs. Discipline of your standards. Never stretch home plate. Always keep your standards. Live by these principles. And your life will expand. You will be the badass. Okay? Thoughts, questions, comments?
It's the weekend.
It's Friday coming up. Huh?